Steve Rosen, a former senior official at AIPAC, once reportedly said that 70 senators would pass a napkin paper if AIPAC asked them to do so. What is AIPAC? What was the meaning behind this statement? And why US not taking any action against what is happening in Gaza for many years? Do you know that Israel is not a part of Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty but still believed to have around 90 nuclear warheads and no one even questions them? Come to the recent example. President Trump, who was continuously portraying himself as a peacemaker, jumped into the Iran-Israel conflict. There are many questions that need to be answered. So let's start. During the Cold War era, many Arabian countries such as Syria, Iraq and Egypt leaned towards Soviet Union, receiving arms, economic aid and political support. The United States viewed Israel as a strategic asset to counterbalance the Soviet influence in the region. But why US wants Middle East? The answer is oil. Do you know? In today, 2025, the Middle East supplies about 30% of the world's oil, and the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway between Iran and Oman, remains a critical checkpoint with 20% of global oil and 1/3 of the liquefied natural gas passing through it daily. The US feared that Soviet-aligned regimes could threaten the Western access to oil and destabilize pro-Western governments. USA needed a loyal partner so that it can carry out its activity as a self-acclaimed inspector of the Middle East. But why only Israel? There are few reasons. Israel has already proved its military might, commitment and reliability in the 1967 Six-Day War, defeating multiple Soviet-backed Arab armies. There was one more reason. Unlike the other Arabian countries, Israel was democratic, Western aligned and opposed to communism. Even after the Cold War era, Israel remained the favorite place for USA to invest to maintain stability in the region. These are some of the factors that are externally related to USA, but the question in the center of today's discussion is what is happening inside. Have you ever heard a term called lobby diplomacy? There is an interesting book describing the lobby as a loose coalition of individuals and organizations who actively work to steer the US foreign policy in pro-Israel direction. And one of the largest group is AIPAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It is a kind of group, NGO or something like that. If you go to their website, it's clearly mentioned that AIPAC brings together Democrats and Republicans to advance our shared mission, building bipartisan or both parties' support for the US-Israel relationship. And do you know? They have more than 5 million pro-Israel Americans. 5 million. They also clearly mentioned that 98% of the AIPAC-backed candidates won their general election races in the 2022 and also spotted 361 pro-Israel Democratic and Republican candidates in 2024 with more than $53 million. And their commitment level is insane. I'm sharing the information that is available on their website. There are many other groups and their influence can be seen on almost all the stratas of information sharing, such as education, multimedia, and news. Although the extent of influence is contested, it is a general belief that pro-Israeli groups have something to do with it. Let's take an example of Superbook, a Christian animated series that blends time travel adventure with biblical storytelling, designed especially for kids. In episode 24 in season 2, there is a story in which King Solomon, appointed by his father King David, built a magnificent temple in Jerusalem. Similarly, The Prince of Egypt is a 1998 animated musical drama film in which Moses helps his Hebrew community to flee the Egypt to save them from atrocities and sufferings. Masses in the US are aware of the sufferings of the Jewish community since their childhood and have developed a soft corner towards them. Now come to Hollywood. The impact of the Jewish and Israeli individuals on the Hollywood is both far-reaching and foundational, shaping the industry from its earliest day to the present. Hollywood has often portrayed the Israel in films like Exodus and Munich, reflecting both admiration and critique. These portrayals have influenced public perception towards the Israel. So, after its strategic location in the Middle East, the single most important factor driving the US-Israel relationships is the broad and deep support for Israel among the US public. So, it makes sense for the Congress people to take hardcore pro-Israeli stance to please their public. After all they want is